Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Skip, aka Skip and Tosh here of the Sacktown Breakdown. Catching up on some recap games. Sorry, some things have come up, so we're catching up. We promise you guys we'd cover as many games as we can. Better late than never. They say never late is better, but here we are. So we'll make it as good as we can for you guys. Appreciate you guys sticking with us and being patient throughout all the takes and the drops. I won't waste any more of your time. We'll get into these and we'll get out. So here we go. So first thing that we're going to take a look at is the Boston game. We're going to go back to that Boston game that had happened back on the 17th, I believe it was. Sacramento Kings on the road against the Boston Celtics. Actually, it was at home. Excuse me. We did play at home. You can see a breakdown of the quarters, and you know, again, these stats kind of always tell a little bit of a story. We outscored them by 12 in the first quarter. They outscored us by 8 in the second. You know, the terrible tale of the third quarter. It's so weird, like, you know, the third quarter curse. But they came back and they outscored us by 8 in the third quarter. And then finally, we outscored them by 5. And if anybody remembers correctly, it was Marcus Smart who went up for that floater and it went up on the rim and then it rolled back off. And that's kind of what gave us the dub over them. All in all, like, you know, a reoccurring theme that you'll see throughout actually really majority of these breakdowns, but especially these 4 games that I'm getting ready to do here, is that the lower scoring games on the NBA spectrum, you know, we beat them by 1 point by having 100. So we cracked 100. They didn't. And that, again, it's a testament to the defense. We're focusing a lot more on slowing things down, half-court offense, and defense, really. So defense and then half-court offense. And being that, you know, our pace, you know, we went from being one of the fastest teams in the NBA in pace last year, but losing a considerable amount of games to, you know, and not always being competitive, being in more games than we did this season before. This year, you know, with 2 of our starters out for, you know, a decent amount of the season so far, we have been staying competitive in games. Our defense has been better, but you're going to notice that our points per game have significantly dropped. And it's interesting to see, but let's take a look at the leaders. Buddy Hield had a really great game, 35 points, one of his best games. That might have been a career high even for Buddy. So far, you know, at that point it had been. Jaylen Brown coming in with 18 points. We had Tice with 10 rebounds. Nemanja has really been playing good for us. He's kind of an unsung hero with his 14 rebounds. 10 defensive rebounds too, so he's getting us those possessions back. He's down there in the paint, you know, on defense. He's been down there in the paint. On offense, he's been out in the wing, and he even finds himself down in the paint more on offense. Just being a true stretch for us, like being an actual stretch big, you know, not just shooting, but using his big body and his physicality as well. Bogdanovich had a great ball handling game. He had 0 turnovers and 10 assists. So that's fantastic. Kemba Walker had 9 assists. Jaylen Brown with 2 steals and Buddy Hield with 4 steals and a block. And keeping himself out of foul trouble too, only 1 personal foul. Team stats also tell a story. So you can see we shot the ball 89 times. They shot the ball 82 times. But field goal percentage, we were just like, you know, 1.2% better than them in field goal percentage. Now, 3-point percentage, we did really good. They're 33%, so they only made a third of their 3-pointers. And some of those just weren't going in. But a good amount of it was, you know, our perimeter defense, you know, holding guys accountable, sticking with guys. Not letting our men always just float free and all that stuff. And then we made 14 out of 35, so we shot 40% from 3, which was a key in that victory. Another reoccurring theme that you're going to see is we just continue to not be a very good team at getting to the line. We get hacked a lot, and we don't get the foul call. Excuse me. And as you know, part of the NBA game is the game within the game. So you have to know how to initiate the contact and you have to know how to sell it. You know, unfortunately, they'll find players for flopping, but at the same time, if guys are honest and go to the rim and get fouled, and they don't try to sell it, if Harrison Barnes doesn't try to sell it, he'll just get hacked and there'll be no call. Buddy Hield can go to the line and, you know what I mean, or go to the rim. He doesn't go to the rim a whole heck of a lot, but he can go there and he can legitimately get fouled. They won't call it. De'Aaron Fox, I don't even think Fox was with us at this time. I think he might have already gotten hurt, but we'll double check. But same thing, he gets hurt and or he'll go to the rack. Excuse me, and won't get the foul call. Him, unfortunately, he ends up falling back a lot, so he gets hacked. But since he's going back and not toward the rim, lower likelihood that they call it. So it's something we got to work on. So that's going to be a coaching thing, because as a team, this is a reoccurring theme. It's not just one person. So free throws, we shot well, 83%. We only missed 2. We only went 12 times. If you look, the other team, they went twice as many times as we did, and they only missed 3. So they went there more, and they shot a higher percentage. They ended up having 26 assists, so they did really good with the ball movement, and that's what really helped them out. They only out-rebounded us by 1 rebound, so we're staying competitive on the rebound. Offensive rebounds was a tie, 10 each. We had 1 more steal. We had 4 more blocks, and we had 2 less turnovers. So all those things obviously play a factor. And as you can see right here, it talks about the game recap. Boston Celtics were an unlucky bounce away. Get it? Celtics, leprechauns, luck. Very clever. I mean, how could you not? It's low-hanging fruit, but extending a historic start to their season. Instead, the Sacramento Kings walk away with a huge win. Buddy Hield scored a season high thus far. 35 points for Sean Holmes, hit 2 free throws with 13 seconds left remaining to give the Kings the lead, and the Kings snapped the Celtics' 10-game winning streak. So that was another good thing about that. We snapped their winning streak. That always gives you a little bit of confidence going forward, and something that, I forget, because it had been we're a little removed from that time. Rashawn Holmes hitting those 2 free throws at the end of the game is what put us up, by 2 to win the game. And then from there, it was just a matter of defense. Marcus Smart did penetrate the paint. We showed just enough for him to have to go for a floater to where he wouldn't get the foul call. He really should have been aggressive and went at the rim and tried to get to the free throw line. But we showed on defense. Rashawn Holmes stepped out. He went up with the floater and it rolled off the rim, and that was game over. We can take a look at individual stats real quick. You can just, if you want to pause it to look at the Celtics stats, you can. But Jaylen Brown with 18 and had 8 rebounds. Kemba Walker had 15, and he was 5 of 12, so that's kind of interesting. He didn't hit any 3-pointers. Perfect from the line, and had 9 assists, as we said before. Jason Tatum, 30 minutes, 14 points. He was 6 of 13, which is solid, but he was only 1 from 3. So just 1 more of those would have taken him, from 14 to 17, and possibly had them winning the game. Very well could have had them winning the game if nothing else changed about the game except for him hitting 1 more 3. 6 rebounds he had, and then 2 assists. Daniel Tice, 14 points. He was 5 of 6 from the field, which is very solid for him. Hit all his free throws, which is awesome, and had 10 rebounds. So Tice had a solid game, especially for for your big, for your center. And it still just tickles me pink that Marcus Smart is basically playing power forward. Marcus Smart is truly playing power forward. Now, it is true that they have Jason Tatum and him switch off depending on when it is. So offensively, Jason Tatum is really the power forward. Jaylen Brown tends to play more of the wing position as opposed to Tatum. Tatum, better scorer, can post up, can score better, so they'll put him at the power forward. And then, but on defense, Marcus Smart is just guarding 4s. Especially at that time, he was doing it very successfully. But that was an interesting thing. He only had 5 points. And look, he took just as many shots as Jaylen Brown did. Jaylen Brown took the most shots next to Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart had been shooting 3s really good up until that point. I think he was shooting in the low 40%, which is crazy. Especially a huge improvement from Marcus Smart, someone who's known for not being able to shoot the ball, especially 3s. But he went 1 for 8. And so there goes half of his field goals were right there. So half of his field goals were for 3, and he only made one of them. So he only made 1 3. And then he, I think he went to the line, didn't he? No, he didn't go to the line. So he made another 2-pointer, probably something at the rim. And that's what got him his 5 points. And then that floater that he had would have got him 7 and won the game, but he missed it. So still had 9 assists, which is awesome for Marcus Smart. He had the same amount of assists as Kimba and had 5 rebounds. So didn't have a great game, but he still was significant in other ways. Enes Kanter is someone who he had a good game for them. 10.7 rebounds inside of 18 minutes, 2 turnovers, 1 block. But he was really having trouble with our bigs. Obviously he got his 10 points, but it was pretty surprising. He had kind of been on a bit of a roll and kind of couldn't come through. Is it Seti? Because I always get Chetty and Seti, but basically Seti Ojale. He had a decent game for them. He was effective. He came up, 3 or 4 from 3. I just remember him coming in and like hitting some threes, a few contested, but he was wide open on a few. Just knocked those things down. And I'm happy for Seti because I always like Seti Ojale. I think he came in a little overweight, dropped a lot of weight, refined his body, and worked on his shot. And he's, with all the shift in personnel within the Boston, he's found a way to crack the rotation and be a plus for them in majority of games that they play. And Wanamaker came in. I remember, he hit some timely buckets for them that kind of helped them out. Had 3 assists as well. He was just kind of on the perimeter a little bit, giving us some trouble. And then, the rest of it's kind of history. Everybody else kind of so-so. Take a look at our stats real quick. Buddy Hield, inside of 38 minutes, had 35 points. Shot 24 buckets, which, that's a little on AB, even for a shooting guard. I don't... In today's ball, where today's game where you're moving the ball a lot, I don't know if I want anybody on my team shooting that many shots. If you're naming Luka Doncic or James Harden, but he did well with them, and he ended up at 32. He had 7 3-pointers, which is awesome. 7 to 12, so killing it from the 3. And has 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. So Buddy just had an incredible game. Harrison Barnes is a bit of an unsung hero. He came in and he was playing some really good defense. He had some timely buckets for us. He was 3 of 6 from 3. His threes have been dropping lately. And you're going to hear a reoccurring theme of me telling people to get off Harrison Barnes' back. Harrison Barnes maybe isn't the player that you want him to be, but he is a player that is helping our team get better and contributing to wins for us. And he's a hardworking guy. He comes in with his lunch pail. He does his work. You don't hear him complain. You don't hear him being a diva. He's an awesome, positive man, positive influence, and he goes home. Yeah, he gets paid the amount of money that he did. He's blessed. So what? Be happy for him. It could have been you. You wouldn't want people hating on you for getting paid that much money. Let the man live. Let him make his money, So I'm happy he's here. I'm happy he's getting paid the amount of money that he is. So bless you. My main man, Harrison Barnes. Keep shining, man. Also had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, had 1 steal. And then again, Nemanja Bjelica in his 30 minutes was 50% from the field. Surprisingly, only hit 1 of 4 from 3. But missed one of his free throws. But he had 12 points. He had 14 rebounds. So he had a very solid double-double that really contributed to us winning and had 4 assists and a block. So Nemanja Bjelica had a good game. One more 3 would have been awesome and obviously would have really sealed the win for us, but a dub is a dub. Corey Joseph played a very good defensive game and a very good ball handling game. As you can see, he only had 1 turnover in his 26 minutes, but he struggled from the field. He's just been having difficulty scoring. The way that the team is set up and him needing to get inside and him not being great at shooting threes. And then his shot selection has not been good. Like, he's been trying to shoot a lot of things like off the dribble, a lot of like fading shots, just because his shot's a little slow, so he has to like do a move to get it off. And if your shot's already slow because you don't have a good shot, then any other place where any other way to try to place it is just going to be a bit of a struggle. So But we still got the win, and he gave a fantastic speech at the end of the game that I just thought was awesome. Rashawn Holmes, man. Rashawn Holmes put on his hard hat. He brings the energy at 9 points. He had 11 rebounds, so almost had a double-double. Hit those timely free throws to seal the game for us, so he was key in us winning. Was 5 of 6 from free throw, which is awesome. And other than that, yeah, 2 blocks. He was fouling a lot. He was getting called a lot, so he almost fouled out, but it's okay. And then Bogdanovic, 12 points, 5 of 14 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. 3 rebounds, 10 assists, so he had himself a double-double with assists, which is awesome, 2 steals. My man Harry Giles got 11 minutes and made the most of it. As y'all know, Bogdanovic is my favorite player. Harry Giles is my second favorite player on the Kings. And Harry Giles, 4 of 9 from the field. Came in, had 2 rebounds. Had 1 turnover, had 1 block, and it was a good block too. Just love his length and his big hands, man. Just love Harry Giles. Dwayne Dedmon came in and gave us some meaningful minutes, 10 minutes, 7 points. And I know it's interesting. It's funny. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about how Dwayne Dedmon, people talk about it, but he came in and we all thought he was going to be our starting center. And Rashawn Holmes is our starting center right now, especially with Bagley out. And but I do like that people aren't giving Dwayne Dedmon crap. His 3 is not falling like it was last year. It doesn't even look like the same shot. It looks like something's wrong. It's also often very flat. It's missing in a very weird way. But he has hit some timely ones. And he still just brings a good energy. He goes out there. He gives his all. He plays hard on defense. I still would rather have him here than have, Willie Cauley-Stein. And I was one of those people that I liked Willie Cauley-Stein. It's just, Willie Cauley-Stein just wasn't focused enough to live up to his potential. He also had 4 rebounds and a block. Yogi Ferrell, in his 16 minutes, didn't get a lot of opportunities to score, and the ones that he did, he missed. But Yogi always brings a spark off the bench. And then Trevor Ariza came in, played 14 minutes. He was mostly out there on the defensive end, helping us play team defense and just kind of being, just a good leader on the floor for us. But all in all, my friends, that was that game. So it was just good to break their winning streak, and overall just just get the dub, especially against a really good team that was rolling, and we did it at home, which felt even better. So continue to tune in. We're going to have I'm going to be recapping the rest of the games that we have missed, and that'll get us completely caught up. And at that point, we wouldn't have missed any games. Even though we were late, we recapped all of them. And that's our goal. Me and, it's almost an impossible task, all 82 games between 2 people. So at least 41 games between 2 people. It's a Herculean task, but me and Tap are committed, So thank you guys for rolling with us as we take you through this, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Go Kings.